60 kilometers per hour. No driver, no human hand on the wheel. Just sensors and code making decisions in milliseconds. Something goes wrong, the car doesn't stop. After the chaos, after the sirens, one question rises above everything else. Not how did this happen, but who is responsible. We live in a world where machines no longer just follow instructions, they make decisions. In our hospitals, robotic systems perform surgeries guided by artificial intelligence. When they work, they save lives. When they don't, a patient is harmed, and nobody knows who to blame. The surgeon, the company, the algorithm. In our skies, autonomous drones carry out strikes without a human pilot. In our cities, AI systems screen job applications, manage traffic, and flag people to law enforcement, all without human review. This is not science fiction. This is happening right now, and the question of who answers for these decisions has never been more urgent. To understand how the next generation thinks about this, I interviewed 5 university students from engineering, business, computer science, civil engineering, and psychology. These are all people who will soon design these systems, manage the companies that deploy them, and live with the consequences. I asked them 6 questions. Their answers were honest, thoughtful, and clear. First question: if a self-driving car causes an accident, who is responsible? Not one student blamed a single person. They all described shared responsibility. The company that profited, the government that approved it, the engineers who built it. One student said it best: whoever benefits from a technology must also bear its risk. You cannot take the profit and walk away from the consequences. This idea that responsibility is distributed across everyone who had a hand in the system is not just a student opinion. It is one of the most important principles in the ethics of technology. For the second question, can a machine ever truly be responsible for its actions? Every single student said no. A machine has no conscience, no intention, no understanding of what it has done. It executes its programming, nothing more. One student made the point simply: the people who wrote the code and decided how it should behave are the one who answers for it. The hand that built the machine is the hand that must answer for what it does. What about the engineers themselves? Students agreed if an engineer knew something was dangerous and stayed silent, they carried that burden. But if they raised concerns and were overruled, the blame shifts to those in power. One student said engineers should refuse to build things they believe are fundamentally dangerous. That takes real moral courage, especially when your career is on the line. On autonomous weapons, all 5 students were deeply concerned. One raised the point I have not forgotten. Autonomous machines remove the human moment of hesitation, that pause where a soldier feels doubt, considers consequences. When a machine replaces that moment with a calculation, something essential is lost. And on laws, every student agreed what we have today is not enough. Our legal systems were built for a world where humans make decisions. We need new laws, international agreements, and governments willing to act before the next disaster, not after. Finally, I asked whether using AI had ever changed how they think about right and wrong. Every student said yes. Some felt uncertain using AI for their studies. Others set personal rules for themselves. One said it most clearly: what was obviously wrong before is now a gray area. Technology shifts our moral boundaries without us even noticing. We are not just building machines, we are building the world that will shape the next generation's sense of right and wrong. Autonomous machines are already here, in our hospitals, on our roads, in the systems that make decisions about our lives. We need engineers who speak up, companies that take ownership, governments that act. Because responsibility does not disappear just because a machine pulled the trigger. The machine did not choose to exist, we did, and that means the responsibility, all of it, belongs to us.